Fort Myers, Florida. Red Sox 2018 first-round draft pick Triston Casas is only 19, but he already is bigger than 6'3", 232-pound J.D. Martinez. Casas, who's listed at 6'5", 240 pounds, shed some body fat and added more muscle this winter. The power-hitting third base prospect is in terrific physical shape heading into his first full professional season. "I feel like this offseason I definitely matured," Casas said. "I never really had a complete offseason where it's just work out every day, focus on myself, try to perfect my craft as much as possible and try to wake up every day with the mindset of, okay, I'm going to go out and try to be the best baseball player that I can, and I'm going to attack it by doing this. I'm going to work out from this time to this time." Boston drafted Casas 26th overall out of American Heritage High in Plantation, Florida. It's the same high school where Padres' Eric Hosmer starred. Casas signed a $2,552,800 bonus. Baseball America ranks him Boston's number 5 prospect. It also lists Casas the best pure hitter and best power hitter in the Red Sox minor league system. MassLive.com's Christopher Smith sat down with Casas for a Q. He discussed his hard-working Cuban immigrant family, his ability to play the piano, his relationship with Hosmer and his experience in the Dominican Republic. Smith: "When were you full go this offseason after thumb surgery?" Casas underwent thumb surgery in late June. He jammed the thumb during a Gulf Coast League game. Casas: "From the time of my surgery, it was about a 3.5-month recuperation process. See, I did play in instructional league. And I went down to the Dominican Republic and played there, at the Red Sox Dominican Academy in El Toro. I got a little bit of experience last year in professional baseball, but it was a small sample size. And carrying into the off-season, I was able to do everything at full activity. I had no restriction to the off-season." Smith: "When were you in the Dominican?" Casas: "In October." Smith: "What was that experience like?" Casas: "It was an awesome experience. The biggest thing I took away from it was just meeting some of the younger guys. Obviously when you sign internationally, you're 15, 16. So to go down there as one of the elders and basically hear a lot of the backgrounds that they come from, it was very humbling to say the least. And I'm glad that I got to experience a couple weeks with them. Learn a little bit of their culture. We went out to the beach one day in Boca Chica and we went down to a Dominican League game, which was pretty crazy in itself." Smith: "What was pretty crazy? Was it the crowd?" Casas: "Man, comparing it to a major league field, it was probably the stadium without the seats behind the fence, in the outfield. Which means it was probably half as full as a major league park. But it was probably double as loud as I've ever heard a major league game I've ever been at. The fans, they bring all kinds of instruments. They make their own things, whether it be they fill a bottle with pennies and shake it, or they bring some towels or some rackets. They bring the noise. It's a different atmosphere. They have cheerleaders on the dugouts. They have games in between innings. It's a different country down there and they definitely do it differently. So it's definitely something I will look into in the future because it looked like a lot of fun not only from a fan's perspective but I've got to imagine from a player's perspective. It's got to be a nice change of pace from Major League Baseball, which is not strict but not as fun-oriented and stuff like that." Smith: "When did you meet Eric Hosmer?" Casas: "I met Hosmer probably when I was in about 10th grade. He heard I was a pretty good player from the area. I went to his high school. And a friend of mine actually hits with his older brother. And I was able to be in contact with them. And they invited me to his house one day to hit. And I was like, man, of course I'm going to go." Eric Hosmer, he really kind of took me under his wing. He really wanted to be a mentor knowing I'm from his area. He wanted to help me out as much as he could. Just trying to talk to me, just trying to prepare me for professional baseball. Whether that would be going to his house to hit or going out to eat, he was always there for me. And his family was very generous in talking to me whenever I needed to. And he's not a bad guy to keep in contact with. So yeah, I'm glad that they were so generous as to let me into their family, so to speak. Padres Eric Hosmer thinks Red Sox first-rounder Triston Casas will be a household name. Smith, what do you like to do during your downtime when you're not playing baseball? Casas, being from South Florida, I definitely like to fish. We have a lot of lakes. I like to fish for sport, not really deep-sea fishing. I like to fish for base. I'm a catch-and-release kind of guy. That'll do it for me. I also play a little bit of the piano. I took a beginner's class in 9th grade at my school. I know a little bit of it. I like to play a little bit of John Legend and Adele. Whenever I feel a little bored, I'll go and read some lyrics, look up their things and try to play it as best as I could. And I play video games a little bit too. Just whenever I feel like getting away from everything, having a little bit of fun. Maybe calling a couple friends and playing some games and stuff like that. But man, free time is far, few and in between for me. Smith, obviously you want to save money, but did you buy one thing you always wanted with some of your signing bonus? Casas, no, I haven't bought anything spectacular yet. Thankfully, I was raised in the position where money was never an issue. So having the signing bonus hasn't changed me at all. I don't feel like it ever will. Smith, who was your biggest role model growing up? Casas, my role model is definitely my dad, Jose, all day. He's the one who's raised me and has instilled the work ethic into me that's hard to beat. He always was there for me from the beginning. He raised me to be a great baseball player on the field, but more importantly to be a great man off the field. Treating everybody with respect is his standard. I'm so grateful for the lessons that he's taught me throughout my young life. I can't wait to see what I have in store for the rest of it. But I feel like I'm going to be comfortable no matter what, just because of the way he's instilled the work ethic into me and raised me in the right manner. Smith, what did you see him do when you were growing up that showed you his work ethic? Was it his job? Casas, yeah, my family comes from a line of construction workers. So seeing my dad go to work every morning, leaving the house 4:30, 5 every morning and going to do his thing, it definitely took an impact on me. Him not being there all the time, but him letting us meaning me and my brother, Gavin, understand that work is a part of life and without it you won't get very far. Lazy's one thing in our family that will not be tolerated. And he's always instilled that into me through actions. Smith, is your brother younger than you? Casas, yes, he's 17. Smith, he plays baseball, too. Casas, yeah, he's a junior. He goes to American Heritage as well. He's committed to Vanderbilt. So he's a pretty good baseball player himself. Smith, did you play any other sports growing up? Casas, baseball was actually the last sport that I played. I started off with soccer. I was too young to remember, but my dad told me that I didn't like to run very much. And then I played basketball for a little bit. I wasn't very good and my dad realized there's not many Cuban basketball players. And then my dad tried me in baseball. He bought me a little Fisher-Price plastic ball and plastic tee and let me start hitting off of that. He said I was pretty good, so he kept me on this baseball thing, and I'm glad he did because I'm in love with it and I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. Smith, did your dad play baseball? Casas, he was actually a football player, which is why he knows he didn't want to get me into football. He knows how aggressive it is and how impactful it can be on your body. He just knew he didn't want me getting into that sport. He tried to play baseball a little bit in high school. Wasn't very good. But he always tells me he knows everything not to do. So he used that in raising me. So that's always been his approach. So I'm glad he's figured it out. He played football through high school. Smith, who in your family immigrated to the U.S. from Cuba? Your dad? Casas, I am second generation. So my father was born here, but his first language was Spanish. My grandparents immigrated here in '60s before things started getting bad with Fidel Castro and everything that happened over there. But yeah, his first language was Spanish. And my grandpa came here with nothing basically. So my dad growing up was always on his own. Didn't really have much guidance just because my grandpa was trying to keep the family afloat, really, working many jobs and just trying to put food on the plate any way he could. So my dad had to raise himself basically. And he has a younger sister, which is my aunt. So he was the man of the house for a lot of times. He did see his dad and how hard he worked and realized that is what it's going to take to be great at whatever. And he instilled what he learned from his dad into me. So that was the chain. Smith, what's your goal this season? Casas, I think for me the most important thing is going to be stay healthy. I feel like if I stay healthy for a full season, I'm going to do the right things, I'm going to put the right numbers up. And I'm going to help whatever team I'm on win ball games. But beyond, I feel like I'm going to learn a lot on how to take care of my body. It's a long season mentally and physically. And I don't know much to expect, but I do know it's going to be a long season. I've tried to get a lot of advice from the guys here. And they just tell me to stay in it. Always keep grinding, and no matter if things are going good or bad, keep with the same mindset and you'll be fine.